good.
Welcome back.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that. I know you like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all wanna smile at me. These rap cats, man, they all got this style for me. And if I ever see them, man, they probably bow to me. And when this beat drop, I know they gon' lean. World debut, I know they gon' fiend. Everything Mississippi to the Palm Springs. Girls from brunettes down to blonde queens. These young boys don't know what a Don mean. I'm just a bad boy gone clean. I'm the diamond chain choker, always remain sober. Don't drink liquor and all the game's over. Need a plane, I explained it to my broker. 3 box in the hood, top down, and ain't over. You know there's more, man, where that come from? Me and Kuda Love rolling back to back in one. See the names have all changed since I've been around.
Yo, what's up, y'all? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, I'm back in the building. Welcome to Talk That Shit TV. Hey, man, it's your boy Los Do The Most. It's been a while. I know it's been a while. I just want to give a shout out to everybody who pretty much been supporting me, and just thank you for all the support. Once again, you know, back in the studio, back here at Misfits Media Group. Shouts out to Misfits Radio. Shouts out to Westside Misfits. Shouts out to DJ Lab. Shouts out to Slick. I'm just glad to be here, man. I'm just so glad to be back in the building. So glad to be back in the building. I know it's been a lot going on. Life been lifing, you know what I'm saying? I can honestly admit that. Lab, what's happening?
Not much, brother. How you?
Man, I'm good, man. Life been lifing, man. But I'm here.
I'm glad to see you back.
Hey, man.
Back in the saddle
Back
again.
in the saddle. Back in the saddle, man. It feels good to be back. You know, just ready to get back out here and hit the ground running. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hit the ground running. New ideas. New people. New interviews. New everything. Just a new look on everything.
Right.
And that's pretty much been the focal point. You know, for myself. Just starting fresh.
Okay.
A fresh start, man.
I've always wondered why you guys stop in the middle and do and then start new seasons. Is that because you be trying to think of new stuff, new ways to approach it to try to be more successful the next year?
Yeah, that, and then also just, you know, I get people hit me up all the time about certain situations, certain subjects, certain topics they want to address. So, you know, and then like I don't really watch a lot of news, but I do hear a lot of stuff. Okay. So, you know, just to try to get everything written down or just get everything in my mind. So, you know, when I do get back out here and start a new season, you know, I had the folks waiting.
Okay.
And they'll be ready to really just engage, knowing, okay, I've been gone for a minute, but I got new information now, or I got everything, something different I want to talk about. So,
Okay.
you know, just to keep them guessing.
Keep it fresh.
Keep it fresh.
Okay.
Yeah, because, you know, you run its course for so long, you know what I'm saying, it's it eventually going to wear out.
Okay.
So, you know, you want to keep them guessing.
I've always wondered that, because I know you be steadfast about, you know, having a good product.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered, well, how do you grow if you stop and people don't realize when you coming, don't know when you're coming back? But I guess sometimes you do have to pause.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to pause, and you have to take stock of what's going on.
Right.
What you've been doing.
What you've been doing.
Nature.
Mm-hmm.
You do have to pause sometimes.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. And that's going to keep your brand fresh too. That's going to keep your brand fresh, because, you know, you might start a season and everything, you know, you have people following you during that season at that time, you know what I'm saying, like you the hottest thing.
Right.
And then you might go, you know, you might end the season and you start the next season up. Guess what? You got new followers following every time you start your new season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's pretty much one of the objectives. And then, like I say, also, you know, you want to keep your brand fresh. You want to do whatever you can to keep your brand fresh.
Okay.
So, you know, just doing that, and then at the same time, you can venture out in certain situations or certain events to pretty much enhance your brand.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's, you know, like that's pretty much one of the objectives too. Because, you know, it's not just about podcasting. It's just about branding, period.
Branding.
You want your name pretty much on everything that's out here moving.
Branding as a whole.
Yeah, as a whole.
Okay,
as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah, as a whole. Like it's just not a podcast. It's a brand, it's a lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? It's everything. So you pretty much want to tie yourself into everything, because, you know, either way, you're gonna find a way of success some way, somehow.
Okay.
So
it's just a matter of figuring out what would be the next step to that brand, what would be the next step to moving forward with everything that you need to move forward with, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because, like, you know, podcasting is the goal. But at the same time, if you put yourself around certain people while they moving right now, or while they vibing, you know, you never know. That might be the break for you.
That's true.
That might be the break.
That's true.
That's why I've always, like, I'm the type of person, I've always been a solo dolo, a popular loner. I call myself a popular loner. I've always been solo dolo. You can consider me a famous nobody. I've always been that way.
I like that.
But at the same time, I've always put myself around different groups of people. Like, I grew up in Atlanta, grew up in the city of Atlanta, grew up around Atlanta, grew up on the south side. So while everybody was doing this over here, you know, around high school and shit like that, I was on the other side doing the opposite, the total opposite.
Okay.
And at the same time, when I was out here doing the total opposite, I was able to rub shoulders with some of the best in the city.
Okay.
So that was what pretty much opened the doors for me to a point where, you know, I've always been the type to where I'm not finna follow nobody.
Right.
I'm gonna stay in my own lane, and I'm gonna do it my way. Now, if it might take a little longer, you know, as far as the process, but I'll take that.
Okay.
I'll take that, because at the end of the day, like, I know what I signed up for, and I know that at the end of the day, you really can't rush great taste. You can never rush great taste.
That's true. So what do you got? I know we don't want to give up too much information for the new season, but some of the stuff you may have coming up for the new season that, you know, may inspire people to come on, tune in, because we talk about some great topics on this show. And sometimes you be wondering, like, where everybody at? So we might need to give them a couple of things that you may have coming up that they may be interested in, and may want to come back and join us.
Well, I got plenty of guests.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you that now. I got plenty of guests, and I'm gonna cover the board from relationship status, the dating status, to the cars, to everything.
Definitely the cars. I know you love cars.
Man, look, I hate it. I'm in here today. It's a big show going on today, man. Shouts out to my man MJ the Stunt Man and Miro SW. They got Stunt Fest going on. I think this is probably their their 13th or their 14th year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going on right now down in Jeffersonville at Twigs Motor Speedway, Middle Georgia. But that's another like that. Like I got so many people tied to that to a point where I can pretty much just open up a whole new storyline just dealing with cars. Period.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's gonna always be in me. But I just felt like, you know, I know too much about everything.
Okay.
And I just want to pretty much kind of mix it up and just, you know, a little bit of everything.
Dib and dab.
Yeah, okay. Dib and dab. I mean, like I said, I'm a loner, so I pretty much like adapt to whatever, you know, pretty much that's gonna show interest to me.
Okay.
And whatever it is, I'm gonna just run with it and make love with it. You know.
I know you love them cars. Me and Slick was watching a show. And I love the show called Dunk Masters. And
Dunk Masters.
Yeah. I was watching it, but recently we saw that he been going to NASCAR and stuff. He didn't elevate himself
big time. Big time.
Yeah.
I mean, to a point to where, you know, I follow him so hard to a point where him and Carlos Miller, they got something going on where they raffle off a car every month.
Oh, really?
They got a raffle going on right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, raffle going on right now. So
we kind of tapped back in with him because the show don't come on no more. But I found him on Instagram recently. You know, he walking up the track.
Yeah, exactly. And see, people like that, I love to have in the studio.
Most definitely.
I would love to have somebody like that in the studio.
I don't know if his big ass is fitting here though. 6'8".
Yeah, I know. Okay.
I know you like 6'4".
I'm 6'4", 6'5". Yeah, I know, man. I'm talking about God.
But I would love to have him down here. I would love to just talk to him.
I think he's very entertaining too. He's very entertaining.
I would love to have. I would love to have him down here. I know he'd probably be real busy, but I would love to just talk to him and see his process.
Like
where he started with that one car.
Mm-hmm,
you know
exactly.
One junk car, he kept fixing on it.
Exactly.
And that's the thing we were just talking about earlier before the show came on. How he took his time, how he didn't rush it, how he was patient with it. You know what I'm saying? Like from that one car, he was just patient. And he said it took him a couple of years to get it going. You know what I'm saying?
But the fact that he didn't stop.
Right. He didn't stop. Going. And now he walking up the track at NASCAR.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And don't even have a car out there.
Don't even have a car.
Exactly. Exactly. So the fact that he got there, I mean, God.
Yeah, that right there inspires you. Like, man, we see his videos how he came from that little one white Chevy 7170 and moved up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But nah, I'm trying to tap in with the best, man. I'm trying to tap in with I consider the best of the best, and they don't necessarily have to be, you know, in the what they call the it crowd.
Right.
They don't have to be in that. But the fact that, you know, just everybody doing their thing, just everybody pretty much just being who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like I always tell folks, end of the day, you know, we all celebrities. You know what I'm saying? We all celebrities. You know, everybody deserve their flowers. So that's pretty much where I'm at with it.
Right.
That's where I'm at. I'm here to just give everybody that deserve their flowers, their flowers. And keep it pushing.
Right.
And just acknowledge those that's really out here just really going hard. Yeah, that's the name of the game. I mean, because we don't get the credit like we're supposed to.
That's true.
We don't get the credit like we're supposed to. So
that's very true.
Why not, man? So, you know, we just try to be real about just try to be real and just try to speak real on everything out here that's going on, because
positively,
both positive and negative. We're gonna hit them across. We're gonna hit them up under the belt, and then at the same time, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna give them something that they can think on and take with them. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we ain't getting no younger.
That's true.
We ain't getting no younger, man.
That's true.
So, you know, it's just like,
I be seeing so much about the negative. I be wanting to try to. And I know that don't help us with the viewing because people love mess and drama.
Right.
I be trying to, you know, steer us towards more positive things for, you know, the black community, for us as a people in general. And I know that don't get the views, but I think it helps us stand out sometimes.
It does.
Especially when you talk about Atlanta, how old Atlanta, how, you know, used to do this, but now you do that. It just kind of shows the progression of, you know, Yeah, we love the old Atlanta. I'm not from old Atlanta, so
Right.
I'm not going to speak on what I don't know.
Right.
But we love the old Atlanta. But now we got to figure out how to have a little bit of old Atlanta with the new Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
when you talk about those type of things.
And see, and I appreciate that, Lab. And what people have to understand is this: like, you know, we pretty much ran by codes growing up, and you know, a lot of us, I think, a lot of us to a point now, a lot of us are at a point now where it's just been so much going on to a point where, you know, people are just getting tired. People are just getting tired. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely. I think a lot of people are tired. A lot of people are stressed, and not being able to go out and have a good time or just chill out and be with your friends and not have to worry about nothing. It's one of them things that you don't want to be taken away from you. You know what I'm saying? Like I be seeing you at night, you be out at the car, you know, hanging out with the cars and stuff, and just y'all just having a good time.
Just having a good time. Music. Right.
Those kind of things people need. You know? They need that.
Yeah, and I think, like, you know, with people, you got so many people that move here, but they bring their ways with them, but don't realize, like, you know, we Southern. We move a little slower than the average. So, you know, just because, you know, somebody come down here and just come and move the way they move, you know, they think, okay, well, we slow because the way we move and how we move, but not realizing, like, nah, we're not slow. This is just who we are.
Right.
You know, this is the way we move. Like, we don't, you know, we don't, you know, do the average, like what y'all do and the way y'all do it. You feel me? Like, we have our way of doing certain things. So, you know, we have, you know, people got to understand that, and understand that the way we move is not a bad thing. It's just the fact that this is how we move, because we look at stuff before it actually happens. You know. Yeah,
I think people need to hear those type of things from people who are from Atlanta. You know, I'm not from Atlanta, so I can't tell those stories. But when you guys down here and the Real Atlanta podcast, when he comes in on Sunday and they talk those stories and tell those things about how stuff used to be, it really gives you a deeper perspective on Atlanta and Atlanta culture. Right. You know, you can't come down here to Atlanta and expect to take over culture that's already been developed.
It's already been developed. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not possible.
Exactly.
It's not possible. I know you say you're going to talk about relationships and stuff like that. And when we were talking earlier, before the podcast started, we was talking about, you know, having a little bit more positive side of relationships. You know, we got to pop the balloon, and the man got to pay for everything type stuff, and the woman need to do this. But I want to talk about things that help us bridge the gap. What can we do to come together and build a strong family and community if all those other things seem to be dividing us? What can bring us together? And I hope you talk about those in your upcoming podcast.
Yeah, I really do. Because, I mean, you know, I've been widowed now. I've been widowed 4 years. And I'm going to be honest with you, dating is kind of hard. Dating is hard because people out here today, they want what they want when they want it. And most people don't understand that even when meeting a person, you don't necessarily have to be meeting a person, you know, for love situation. You could just be meeting a person just because, but not realizing that it takes time to really just get down and just know who you're dealing with. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have bumps in the road just getting to know a person, period. So, you know, people should have to understand, yeah, we're getting old, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, I think most people let the biological clock kind of just get in the way of everything and puts a rush on them and what they really want, but not realizing, like, it's like riding a bicycle all over again when you meet somebody. You're just on a different bicycle. You got to learn how to pedal that bicycle. You got to learn how to hit the brakes. You know, you got to learn all the new tricks on the new bicycle when you meet somebody. And that's what I think people get mixed up because, you know, the biological time clock is ticking, and it's like, okay, I know what I want, but, you know, you're not willing to put the time in and the work in to get great results just to have a healthy relationship established. You know what I mean?
I think you have a great perspective on relationships, and that I think more conversation needs to be had with someone like you, because you dated before.
Yeah.
And you found your person.
Mhm.
Y'all got married. Y'all had a beautiful relationship.
Right.
And now this is the kicker part.
Mhm.
Y'all didn't break up or divorce or anything because it was a terrible relationship.
Yep.
Unfortunately, you know, things happen.
Things happen.
And she moved on to heaven.
To heaven, yeah.
But that perspective right there leaves you a different vision as to how relationships were, because you don't have a bitter your relationship and stuff wasn't bitter. It
Right.
wasn't a bitter ending, so you don't have that bitter
You don't
perspective.
have
Like,
that-
as for
right,
me, I have
exactly.
more of a bitter perspective because
Mhm.
I got divorced and it was a heartbreaking divorce. You get
Right,
what I'm saying? So my
right.
perspective will be different. But for someone like you who had no bitterness, you know,
at all.
when you were dating before, you
Mhm.
found your person,
Mhm.
and now to be dating after and not have a bitter breakup or whatever case may be, still in love with your wife and still love her beautiful face, is a different perspective a lot of people just don't have.
That's true. And a lot of people are still bitter behind their situations too. Like, you see a lot of that, and I'm just like, man, we too old to be holding on to the past. We too old to be holding on to traumatic situations that you've been through. Like, that's in the past.
Right.
Like, it's time to move on. It's time to grow. Growth is sexy, man. Like, what's wrong with growing up?
Most definitely.
You know, like, we all have to do certain things that we don't want to do, but guess what? The results that will happen after the thing that you don't want to do will pop up and show out for you. You just gotta want it bad enough in order for it to happen.
Right.
And a lot of folks just don't want that. Like, I think in this day of time, I see more people cheat their way through life than anything.
Really?
Yeah. Think about it. Take away everything that we got going on right now. Take away all the money. Take away the jobs. Just strip everybody down naked from just everything.
Okay.
And see who willing to make a way to get to where they are, and see who ain't. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Think about it. The one that's up right now, that's got money, okay, they may have looked up and did what they did to get to where they at. But guess what? The minute you take it from them, they're going to fall. They're going to collapse.
They're going to, okay.
Yeah, they're going to collapse.
The money is what props them up.
Right. And then another thing, too, with the, back to the day, everybody leading with money. Everybody want to lead with money. Bro, guess what? The money get gone tomorrow, then what? What you going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's becoming such of a trend. I don't even want to call it a trend. I'm gonna say a wave. I'm gonna say a wave.
A wave.
Yeah, because, like, look how long it's been going on. Now, when we were growing up as kids, listening to these rap songs, they used to tell us about this. They used to warn us about the sack chasers, the groupies, the hoes, the things people do for money. They used to tell us this stuff. So the fact that here we are now, about 20, 25 years after the fact, and we living in it right now, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. Everything is based off money.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, like, if you don't have money, then it's basically like you eliminate.
You don't exist.
You don't exist.
Yeah.
I'm just like, nah, bro, we weren't brought up like that.
Yeah.
We weren't brought up like that, man.
He says, what about all the alternative lifestyles and relationships? Have you been running to that lately? Like, you got the polygamy, you got the, like, Neo got 5 women, all that kind of stuff. Have you run into, in your dating experiences now that you've been dating, have you run into any of that kind of stuff?
And luckily, no.
Okay.
No. But what I don't understand about that is this. Like, see, then that go back to the selfishness, too. It's a lot of selfish people out here.
Oh, most definitely.
A lot of selfish people out
definitely.
Here. And that, honestly, that's another reason why dating is horrible, because everybody is so set in their selfish ways. Like, look, if you really want something, you'll go out here and get it if that's what you really want by yourself. So why sit here and try to put emphasis on the person that you're dating to get something that you want for yourself, knowing that you want this? Go get it yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's that narrative that we were talking about earlier, that that I want you to try to,
right,
get past that.
Get past that. Yeah,
we can't we can't live on a perspective of people telling us what a woman's supposed to do, a man's supposed to do in a relationship, and they are not even in a relationship.
Exactly.
But they never been married.
They
don't realize that marriage and relationships are compromised all the way around.
All the way around. And then another thing too, like a lot of people aren't relationship material.
That's true.
They're not relationship material. Like, growing up, you should have some kind of understanding on what being a girlfriend is. Mm-hmm. And men should have some kind of understanding on what being a boyfriend is. They should all have that some kind of understanding growing up as a kid. Mm-hmm. Growing up as a kid, you know what I'm saying? You should learn that early.
That should be a part of your curriculum.
Yes, you're part of your curriculum. So when it due time, as we do get older, you know what it takes to be that man for that woman. Mm-hmm. As far as courting her and just being that. Just being that man for that woman, like the man that woman expects you to be.
I think a lot of times we go on what we see, what our grandparents may have did, or our parents may have did, and we think that's the aspect. But we got to realize we've got to change and evolve with the time.
With the time,
you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, women ain't at home and barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. They out doing careers too. So as men, we got to adjust to that. But also, women have to adjust to us.
Yeah, women have to adjust to men too. I agree with you on that.
There's no compromise. I don't. Well, from what I hear, what I see on the internet and all that stuff, there's really no compromise in the relationship aspect of things. Nobody wants to compromise. Everybody wants it the way that they want it. Yeah. But it's always even if you're going to dinner together and I'm paying for it, we're going to dinner and I'm paying for it, and you decide you want steak and I decide I want chicken, or we decide something, we're going to compromise in between that meal. It's a compromise all day, every day.
Long.
Mm-hmm. If you love that person and that person loves you, you guys are going to compromise.
Of course.
I don't know any relationship that gets further if it's all one way.
I agree.
And I think with us being married at one point, we have that aspect that I was married. Sure, my wife did what I stuff I like, but I had to do stuff she liked to do too.
Exactly.
That's just the way it goes.
That's just the way it goes.
And I hate this negative. I hate this negative overtone of relationships nowadays. It's just just bad for the future.
Yeah, and the sad part is just us as black folks that's going through this. Mm-hmm. Like, y'all make it so hard, man. Just ladies, just be girly. Be a lady. Be a woman.
Right.
It's okay to work hard. It's okay to go make your money. That's fine. That's your money. That's your money. But guess what? Just because you make money and you work hard and you have a career, that doesn't make you like top tier.
Right.
Just be a woman. A man wants a woman that's gonna be soft and just be in her girly era and just be girly. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about just trying to flex your muscle just because you make more money than him. The money don't mean shit.
Right.
Because guess what? When you in that box in the dirt, you can't spend that money.
And it ain't about being submissive either.
It ain't.
Let's get that out there.
Man.
If I want you to be, I just want you to look.
Just look, yeah. And then my thing is, if you're going to be submissive, you're going to be submissive because you know you like this person.
Right. And
you
feel safe.
Really, really like this person and you know you're safe. You're going to be submissive. Mm-hmm. You're going to be there. I mean, it's nothing wrong with being submissive. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong at all. But when you like somebody, like being submissive is going to come automatic because you really like that person. You're going to do things because you like that person. You're not trying to do nothing to compete with nobody. You're not trying to do nothing to get the best out the best. Y'all not doing it for tit for tat. You doing this, you're being submissive because you really like this person. And that's what we as people need to get back to, because the fact that it's like a lot of people just don't like nobody no more. Everybody don't like. People don't like you no more.
They don't like each other. They might deal with each other, but they don't like each other.
Exactly.
There's no note being passed around.
No, at all.
Check yes
or no. Exactly. We don't have that no more.
Right.
And then the fact that I don't mean to talk bad about my women, but accountability and decisions. Mm-hmm. Like, end of the day, we too old to still have this puppy love type relationship. Like, if anything, you want somebody that's gonna bring the best out of you.
Right.
And if you don't want the best for yourself, then you really don't need to be around nobody. For real, because that's the goal. Like, you're either gonna continue to live or you're gonna exist. One of the two.
Wow.
Either get busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah, I heard somebody say that.
Yeah.
Before too, you're gonna have to live or you're gonna just exist.
I'm telling you, and I hate to say it, just from what I'm seeing, a lot of people out here are just existing. You got 50-year-old dummies out here, and I hate to call them that, but you got 50-year-old dummies out here,
right?
And they ain't got it right yet,
right?
And they wondering why they haven't got it right because you as a person have not sat down and took time out to really just brace yourself and just focus on what you're doing wrong and what is it that you need to correct, and not correcting what needs to be corrected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's all it is. Everybody want to sit in their little box and think, okay, I'm safe in my box, but the whole time you're thinking that you're safe in your box, time passing you by. Time passing you by. You know what I'm saying? You ain't getting no younger. Like, you're not doing anything to really just better you as a person. And like, we get older. You know what I'm saying? The goal is to get better as you get older.
So for men, we're men. We black men.
Right.
What do we think? I'm gonna let you give me three. What do you think might be 2 or 3 things that a black man can do better to improve themselves? Because we have some flaws too.
Right.
We do some shit. We do some fucked up shit too.
I agree.
So what do you think we can do to be seen in a better light? I guess you could say.
As a man, as we get older, I'm gonna say my 3 things is this. First of all, we get older. You gotta change your mindset. You gotta change your mindset. The thing that we were doing, we were 25. The way we were thinking at 25, we can't think like that. We cannot think like that anymore. We cannot think like that anymore. The second thing is your health.
Okay.
Health is a huge, man, let me tell you something. I got people that, man, I just lost a cousin, 38 years old, 37 years old.
Wow.
Because of health.
Wow.
Yeah. My wife died because of health. So when my wife died, I went on a whole lifestyle change. Like, I lost over 40 pounds. I'm changing. Look, I go walking every day. I do my push-ups every day. So, you know, health is another thing that we have to change as black men, because we ain't getting no younger.
True.
We ain't getting no younger, man.
And I gotta be honest. I have an issue going to the doctor.
No, and we all do as men. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
I just actually went to the doctor by the coach, Slick told me to go to the doctor, and I was, even with insurance, the bill just threw me off.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I have issues, but I do go get physicals every year.
No, that's good. That's good. I get physical too.
I get my heart checked.
Me too.
I get tested for everything, as far as STDs, everything. I get tested.
Right.
All that. So I do get physicals every year, but it's just like every ache and crack and stuff, I don't just run to the doctor to go see it.
Right, exactly.
I probably should, but I don't. So I'm guilty of that. Mental health is important for us too.
Yes, it is.
Because I don't think a lot of women think about how much stuff that we deal with as soon as we walk out the front door.
We get beat up by life every day.
Right.
Every day we get beat up by life, like, to a point where sometimes some of us get beat up by life to a point we can't even turn back. We might end up just saying fuck it and just calling it a day, and killing ourselves just because of some situation that happened with that at that time with that person. Right. So we already go through enough just getting beat up by life every day, and then just mentally, like, you really, like, as we get older as men, like, mental plays a huge part. You got a lot of men out here crashing out over the smallest things. Right. And, we shouldn't be at that point in life to where we do stuff like that to crash out. Things happen. Life happens. Every day. Every day. We just gotta pick ourselves up, brush our shoulders off, and just get back on the horse and just ride it. That's all it is.
Slick said some people don't see flaws in themselves to change.
That's facts. That's really one of the problems. That's really one of them problems. A lot of folks don't want to admit to their flaws. Like, at the end of the day, like, if you know you got flaws, like, okay, admit to your flaws and do what you can to correct them. But folks feel like, oh, this is who I am. You're gonna set me this exactly. No, it's not gonna work like that. It ain't gonna work like that. And number three, stability, man. Stability.
Mm.
A lot of us out here, man, moving in with women and still staying with their mamas and like, bro, you old enough to, if you can get out here and buy clothes and buy shoes and put cars together and do this, man, you can get your ass and get out here and pay where you lay.
Pay some rent.
Pay some rent. Pay where you lay.
Right.
Yeah. You can get out here. You know, it don't take much. You get your little bed, get your nice little dinette set for the kitchen. If you know how to cook, if you don't, still you got your own plate. I mean,
that's the main thing.
That's the main thing. Yeah, I hear women all the time talking about how they meet a man and then turn around and realize he ain't got his own spot. I'm like, he what? How old the man is?
Right.
Yeah, bro. So it's just like, I think them my three.
Okay.
Them my three, because we're getting older.
We are getting older.
We're getting older, man. So it don't make sense to still be on the same shit we was on. We were 25. Like, for real, man. Like, it is a time and place for everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Growth is sexy.
One of mine is read more. I think us as black men, we need to read more.
Yeah, that too.
More than just social media posts. We need to pick up a book, iPad, Kindle, whatever the case may be, and read a few books.
Yeah.
Just to expand our horizons on things and our vocabulary on conversations.
I'm reading a book called A New World Order. I've had this book. I've been in and out of it for a few years now, and I'm back in it, reading more of it. I'm almost to the end, but yeah, this book right here pretty much just open up and just really tells you on how the world is actually working now. And this book was published like in 1989, and it's hitting points that we're actually seeing right now, just within not just within the world, but just throughout media, throughout entertainment, throughout everything is hitting home.
Yeah, well, there's another book you should read after that called 21 Lessons for the 21st Century.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get into that.
And that book delves on what's going on right now.
Okay.
But I think reading is a very important thing.
It is. It's gonna keep your mind sharp too.
Yeah, and one more I'm gonna add to. It's not gonna be a number 2, but it's gonna be adding to that reading. Is I think men need to journal more.
Yep.
I think journaling. I think a lot of people think journaling is like a diary. It's like, I think black men think that's like a diary that is just, you know, for women. But no, I find, me personally, because we got to realize that we don't have a whole bunch of people that we can talk to.
Exactly.
But if we're journaling and get the stuff off our minds as we're writing a letter, when I journal, I write it as I'm writing a letter to someone.
Exactly.
And I get it off my mind. I feel better about it, and then I move on. Because a lot of times we just don't have a friend or somebody that we want to tell our personal business to.
Exactly.
Because we just don't have those kind of close friends when we get older.
That's true.
But I think journaling is important because it helps with your mental health.
Yeah, it's gonna help with your mental health, because, like I said, we already get beat up every day going outside, facing the world and everything that the world, putting in front of us. So yeah, journaling is always good. I mean, and also, and it clears your mind. It clears your mind. Like, everything that you've been thinking about, you can write it down, and you can forget about it because you already got it written down. You can always go back to it. So, and that helps with the mind, clearing the mind and stuff like that, to where you can think on to the next best thing. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
My number 2 is going to be, we talked about mental health. Even if you don't have anybody you can talk to and you journal, going to talk to somebody helps us sometimes. I think we think of going to see a counselor or going to see a therapist as being weak, but we got to get past that, because we can't just carry a bunch of stuff on our backs a lot of times. We got, some of us got families, wives, kids, work, all this stuff that piles on us, bills, mortgages, rents. Car broke down, got to figure out how to get to work, and stuff like that we have piled on us, that sometimes just sitting on the couch talking to somebody about it that is not going to tell anybody else about it.
That's true.
Can be relieving. I've done counseling for many years, and you'd be surprised how much stuff you hold in while you crying on the couch about something that happened to you when you was 15.
15, right?
You know what I'm saying? I think those things are very important for us as black men, that we need to really do that. And my last thing is, don't be afraid to fall in love, man.
No, don't be afraid, man.
All that gangster and street stuff.
Yeah.
When you become 50 and older, go and put that to the side.
Yeah.
Don't no woman. Hopefully, the right women. I don't want no street nigga. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put it 100% honest with you.
I agree.
Don't no woman, grown woman who in her career, living her life, doing her thing, want no street nigga for a partner. I'm just sorry.
I agree.
We got to get up out of that. We got to be able to fall in love. All that hard and all that.
Yeah.
This is from somebody who had his heart broken.
I got you.
I love being in love.
Me too.
Loving up on my girl and talking to her and rubbing on her and being able to be me.
Yeah.
I think a lot of men need to feel that. A lot
of
black men need to feel that, and they won't do it if they always are just hard all the time. And women are hard too. But we talking about men right now.
Right.
And I think that one of those things. Just try it.
Try it. Yeah, just try it because I mean, trial and error is gonna happen. It's okay. It's okay. Trial and error is gonna happen.
The person you with is okay. It's all right.
It's beautiful.
It's not going. It's just like having a job. You love your job, but they fire you.
They're fine. Exactly.
You go find another job, right?
Yeah.
I think those things, man. I think it'll be a growth, especially after 50. When you turn 50, you just gotta. It's hard.
It is.
Because I'm 54, and I look at myself, dang, this year I'm be 55.
Right.
I don't feel 55 when I look in the mirror. I know I'm 55.
Right.
But we just can't do the same things we used to do, like you said earlier.
Yeah, man. It's about mindset, man. It's about mental. It's about mental, man. Like you got to change the mental status. Yeah. You got to change how you think.
If you can't afford to be we got to get out the mindset of nice clothes and nice cars and all the rest gets put to the side. If you can't afford a $800-900 car, get a cheaper car.
Yeah.
I drive a Versa.
Yeah.
I drive a Versa because that's what I could afford.
Right.
No electric, no nothing in that car. But I bet you I get the same place.
You get the same place you need to get to. Exactly.
With the same amount of gas.
Right.
And with less maintenance problems.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? We always want to look good. And it's okay to look good. I like looking good. I like smelling good. All that. But not at the cost of my pockets being always empty.
And we should be at that point in our life right now to where the luxury items don't really mean nothing to us.
Right.
Like we should be at a point where if we're not there yet as far as being financially stable or financially free or debt free, we're working to that point. We should be at that point where if we don't own any property, we're working toward owning property. We should be at that point to where, it's the little things that count more than the big shit. You know what I mean? A typical day could be hopping in your car and cruising for the day just to get your mind off certain things. Going, sitting down, having a small breakfast or a late brunch somewhere without the glitz and glamour. Like that's the stuff we're supposed to be on.
Yeah, especially at 50.
Yeah, especially at 50. Now, it's okay to get out and splurge. It ain't a problem with that.
Right.
But, you want to splurge for a real legitimate reason. You don't want to just splurge for just the typical reason. Oh, somebody's birthday or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless they turning 50 or something like that. But, nah, you really don't want to splurge, man. Your definition of splurging should be a lot smaller than what you're accustomed to. For real.
I think so. Slick says you got to level up. You got to want more.
Yeah, you got to want more. And wanting more don't necessarily mean material things. Wanting more is just wanting, somebody with some common sense. Somebody that's going to teach you to be a better man, or you can teach them to be a better woman. And just learning how to be in love and learning what true love really is. Because a lot of folks, they don't know. And then when you try to explain it to them, they throw up little certain shit in your face, try to discourage you like, oh, it ain't going to happen to me. It's not going to happen to you also. But nah, I've had that. And I don't mind talking about it. But you got to be willing to listen and learn. You got to be willing to want it. You know what I mean? And, just the drive a lot of people have, they don't have it. They just stuck with what they got going on, and they just going to stay in this little bubble and, I'm going to do it until it's time for me to, to not do it no more. And I'm just like, you're going to forever be behind.
And if you don't have it, the motivation before you turn 50, after 50, it's going to drop a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to drop.
I find myself, I think, sit back and realize that when I was 25, I could work all day, come home, change the house around, clean up, cook dinner, stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning, get up at 4 o'clock, go back to work. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of energy I was on.
Yeah, but see, you can still, but see, the thing is too, when you get 50, like, and see, I always said this too, you know, as we get older, mindset plays a huge part. Okay, you can tell yourself all day long you're getting old, but at the same time, you can get out here and improve. You can improve your health. You can improve your well-being. You can do all that. You know what I'm saying? That you got a choice. So, you know, it's up to you to actually take that choice and just run with it. Unless you're just going to grow old.
Right.
Like most people.
And wither away.
And wither away. You know what I'm saying? I can get out here and, you know, put the work in and work out and feel good and still be 55 and look 35.
That's
you know
true.
Like
that's true.
It all depends on how bad you want it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you got to realize too, when you get 50, you know what I'm saying, you want to be at a point to where, like, it's a challenge for a person to meet you. You want that person that's gonna meet you. You want them to put you on a platter like you're a challenge. It's a challenge for him. I want that challenge.
Right.
I wanna put myself up to that challenge with this guy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And what would be an example of a challenge? What would be like? I don't want you to give out your secrets, but what would you think would be a challenge? Like, I'm thinking, like, if the girl come and she'd be like, you want to go out there? You'd be like, yeah, we can, or we can't. You know, it's no pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah,
no pressure. I'm gonna say my idea of a challenge is this, like, what you just said, going out, that's fine. You know what I'm saying, but instead of going to the basic places. I'm gonna put you up on this challenge, and I'm gonna take you to a place we least expect to go.
Right.
Just to see how you're gonna take it. You know what I mean? Because they already expecting the big shit. They're expecting dinner. Right. They're expecting a high price dinner at Nobu.
Right.
They're expecting like a nice outing after the dinner somewhere pricey. Nah, we ain't gotta do all that.
Right.
Let's go to Starbucks and let's have a coffee.
Right.
Let me see where your mental at then.
Let's go to the botanical garden and sit between them flowers.
Yeah.
And a cup of coffee. See what you think.
Let's go sit in Piedmont Park. You know what I'm saying, and just we can lay the blanket out and do a picnic.
Yeah.
And sit down and really talk to you and see where your mind at.
You know, they say one of the tests of a person having a real conversation is to have a conversation with somebody you meet and not talk about work.
Yep.
Where you work, what you do for a living. And say if you could do that, you probably can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, what people don't realize is, like, you know, when you meet somebody, it's like going on an interview for a job. But at the same time, you got to know what questions to ask and when to ask them. And a lot of folks don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of folks skim the top surface and don't know how to go down below the surface. And that's the reason why things are the way they are right now, because they so focused on the top surface to where they don't get deep down inside. And they probably was never shown that growing up also. So this is the reason why we have the things that we have today, but not realizing, like, it ain't about what's on top, it's about what's down inside.
What's on the bottom.
What's on the bottom.
Okay.
You got to reach the bottom first before you get to the top. You got to.
You're right. I don't think a lot of people know them.
They don't know themselves.
Questions to ask.
They don't.
Because they don't know what deep questions they gonna be
asking. Exactly.
Or they don't know how they would answer them. So yeah, conversation is a big thing. I don't think us men, a lot of us have that. Remember back in the day, they had to have that mouthpiece.
They gotta have a mouthpiece. Yeah. Gotta have a mouthpiece.
Right.
And see, that's how we were brought up, with a mouthpiece.
Right.
We were brought up. We talk our way to anything we wanted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it was a piece of ass for the first time that night, shit, we looked up and talked our way into it and got it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we really need to get back to. The mouthpiece. Everything, all these distractions out here.
Yeah.
The social media sites, everything. The pictures, the cameras, everything.
Yeah.
And that's what's killing the game.
That's true.
That's what's killing the game.
I remember when I was younger, the girl, I came up on my uncle was driving car. He pulled up and said, "Go talk to her." So I went and talked to her. She was fine. She was beautiful. And first thing she said, "Well, why you come talk to me because of my body?" I said, the first thing I see is your body.
Right.
But now I'm up here talking to you, so I want to see what's your mind.
Let me see what your mind
I said,
like.
"What you asking me that question? I see now that you think that your body is all you need."
Yeah. No.
I'm good. I don't think people realize when people say, "Well, I want to know what's in their mind."
Yeah.
But first thing that brings you to them is the visual.
It's the visual.
You see the visual first.
Yeah.
You don't see their mind first. That whole I talk to people for their mind stuff is a bunch of malarkey. You know that you see their body or their face first before you approach them about anything else.
Of course.
So yeah. I think that mouthpiece thing is an old dying art. I think it's gonna die out with us, brother.
It is. It is. And not just the mouthpiece, but everything that come with it.
Right, right.
The stuff that we was accustomed to, growing up and learning this, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna die with us.
Yeah.
These young folks these new folks don't want we're in an instant world.
Yeah.
Everybody want instant gratification for
Right.
something.
Right.
Everybody want instant results. Okay, if I meet this nigga tonight, goddamn it, I want the whole relationship package to come with it the first day I meet the nigga. Like, no, it ain't gonna work like that, baby. It ain't gonna work like that. And then who's to say you relationship material?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then another thing, these women, man, I love y'all. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But man, y'all out here dressing like sluts and expecting us to treat y'all like women.
Whoa.
That shit is not gonna fly, man.
After 50 too.
Yes, that part. After 50.
Yeah.
Who you competing with?
Yeah.
Let the young motherfuckers do what they do. That's what they do. Let them do what they do. Yeah, let them, if they want that, let them have that. Right. But nah, man, like you 50 years old, your ass hanging out, man. You gonna get your ass gonna get taken up through there like a slut. Up through there like a slut. You gonna get treated like a slut, for real.
Right.
So I'm just like, over what they call it, over sexual.
Yeah. But they think that's what we want. That's how we know that women don't really sit down and talk to men on a more deeper level.
Yeah.
That's what sure we like beautiful women. We like women with the ass and titties, but we want more than that. We want to know that if we go out to dinner with someone with the family, you gonna know how to dress properly.
Yes.
If we outside at whatever, you gonna cover up. You gonna know that.
You're gonna know
grandma is in the building.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna put you in a certain situation. I need you to act accordingly with this situation.
Right.
So if it means ballroom attire, I need you in ballroom attire. I need you to act like a lady in ballroom attire. You know what I'm saying? A lot of folk don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of women, a lot of men don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I look at it like, I know we all grown and got kids, and I know a lot of us had kids when we was younger, at a young age, and at a young age when we was having kids, we was in we was busy in what we was into at that time.
Right.
I think a lot of us end up having those kids grow up, and we back outside, back into the things that we was into before we had kids. And this is another reason why there's a wedge between us when it comes to dating, because you got people out here that don't really know anything because they were so busy taking care and raising their kids.
Now, see, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a friend who buffers my bubble and showed me the ropes, because I was when I was married, I was in the cocoon. There was I was in a bubble. There was no reason for me to come out that bubble. I had my wife, I had my children, I had my career, had my house. I was good.
Right.
There was no reason for me to venture outside that bubble, because I didn't see myself doing nothing outside that circumference. I was busy raising my kids.
Right.
But when that bubble did get busted, we got divorced, and I had to do my own thing. I noticed the difference.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know how. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know how to maneuver.
Yeah, of course.
There was no jumping right back into a mouthpiece on fly.
Yep.
I didn't know how to maneuver. I had to figure that thing out. Luckily, I had somebody who showed me.
You don't
do that right now. That ain't how you do it today.
Right.
You might have did it back then, but you don't do it like that today. And you just have to learn how to do those things. Slick says we are in a time when women best friends. When women are best friends with their kids. Younger and older women are out for the same things.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Especially now. Especially with I agree with you on that, because, like I said, they missed out on so much.
Right.
They missed out on so much raising them kids to where they really didn't take time out to learn anything while they was mothering those kids. You know what I'm saying? To a point where now the kids are grown, you got something you can fall back on because you learned it while you was raising your child.
Yeah, that's one of the things my ex-wife told me when we started going towards the divorce, that she felt like she missed out on so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Raising kids early. We got married young, had kids early.
Yeah.
She felt like she just missed out on so much. I never felt like that.
Right. Right.
I don't know why. I mean, I'm not no saint or anything.
No, understood.
But I just
understood.
never felt like that. I just felt like I was married. I'm good. I got my kids. I raised. We doing this together.
Mm-hmm.
I was always good. I didn't feel like there was anything outside that bubble that I was needing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just never felt that way. But she did.
Yeah.
She was young. We were young. We was 18. We got married.
See, look, you got young man. You got married young.
Yeah,
so
and we had kids at 18.
Yeah.
So
y'all got married young.
we got married real young.
Mm-hmm.
But she just felt like she missed out, which is fine. That's the way life goes sometimes.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying on that. I experienced it firsthand.
You have to. You got to get out your box. You have to get outside your box in order to live the way you really want to live. You got to go see something different. Because at the end of the day, the stuff that we're doing now, the things that we see, it's going to be here. It's going to be here. You can't. You can disappear from it for a while and come right back. Get what? They still doing the same shit. Still doing the same thing. Got to, man. I mean, that's growth. Growth is sexy. That's gonna be my new.
I like that model.
That's gonna be my term.
Sexy.
Yeah, for 25, growth is sexy. Growth is sexy, man. So it's just about growing up. You know, I tell folks all the time, you know, we the biggest celebrities out here because we see life in a way that these celebrities don't see it. And we're progressing behind it, you know, through trials and tribulations and hard times and stuff like that. We're still going. So the fact that, you know, we got plenty of room for change, so why not take advantage of it? Why not take advantage of it? So, you know, that's just that's the new motto. You know, that's just how I feel. You know, just through my situations alone, you know, I just want people to understand and just learn, like, you know, tomorrow isn't promised. Like, we got to keep living. Got to keep going. You know, situations going to get put in front of us. You know, it's how you handle it. But the way you handle it, you know, is going to determine the type of person that you are. You know what I mean? It's going to determine it's going to determine how strong you is and everything. So, you know, you just got to be willing to put in the work. Just got to be willing to put in the work. Man, and what's been going on in the news, man? I've been Shannon Sharp and Shador Sanders. Oh my God.
Shannon Sharp is on the then he just stepped down from ESPN.
Yeah, he did. I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've always said this about entertainment, period. You have, in order to get to the top in entertainment, you got to go behind that door. You don't necessarily have to, but you got to go behind that door in order to see some real money and the growth that you expect to see. You got to go behind that door, and you got to do some things that you don't want to do.
That's gonna mess up your moral compass.
Yes, man.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
You don't. And folks don't understand that. You know, so they looking at the what's on the surface. They ain't looking behind it. They ain't looking like in fine print, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I said on another show on Monday we got. I said, do you think that people who make all these billions of dollars haven't compromised their moral compass, have not compromised something morally within themselves? Like, we got to realize that. Yeah.
I've always told. Let me tell you something. I've always tell Insane Wayne this, and shouts out to Insane Wayne. Best of luck on your show and everything. I've always told him, at the end of the day, a lot of these celebrities out here that we see, you don't know what they had to do to get to where they at. You don't know. Okay, you don't know what they had to do to get to where they at. I hate to say this. I hate to use this term, but a lot of these celebrities were lame as hell in high school. You know, they want to do anything they could just to get that notoriety. They want to do anything they could just to say they made it. They want to get anything they could just for for clout purposes or anything of that nature. And they were willing to do whatever, you know what I'm saying, just to get what they got. But not realizing, like, behind all of it, man, they more miserable than us as regular people out here. They more miserable. They're miserable than any of us out here. And then they look at us like we the enemies because we got to deal with this every day. But shit, at least I didn't have to suck no dick or get fucked in my ass just to get the kind of money that I've always wanted, you know what I'm saying, or just anything of that nature. Like, nah, man, man, we ain't finna do all that, man. It ain't happening. It is not happening. I'm sorry, it's not happening.
Okay.
It's not happening. So nah, it's just. But like I said, it's the world that we live in, and people are so blind to a point where they look at the glitz and glamour and think that that's the move, but in actuality, it's not.
It's not.
It's not, man.
It's not where it's at.
It's not where it's at. Like when we were kids, we didn't never see no Rolls Royce. We never seen Bentleys and stuff like that. We never seen Ferraris in person.
Hey, we thought the Cadillac was the Rolls
the Cadillac and the Lincolns. The Cadillac and the Lincolns.
Right. No, Cadillacs was the Rolls Royce
Yeah,
in our
exactly.
neighborhood back in the day.
Exactly. and with Shannon Sharp, like, you know, much respect to him and everything, but he ought to know what he was getting into. He knew what he was gonna get into.
He knew better.
He knew. And then you had people on this podcast like Cat Williams and Monique, and Cat Williams and Monique that tried to tell this man, like, bruh, this ain't what you want.
Right.
They didn't try to tell this man on several occasions, like, this ain't what you want.
Right.
Like, stay in your lane. You got a great format right now. You know what I'm saying? Stick to that.
Right.
You already got enough money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
How much money do you need?
Yeah.
You're not finna spend all that money.
Yeah. The one thing that a lot of people don't know, allegedly, he doesn't even own that podcast.
No, exactly. Yeah, done.
It's owned
right.
by somebody else.
It's owned by somebody else. Exactly.
He just had creative control.
He just created control. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But like I said, man, it just the people. You just don't know what's on people's agendas.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't have a clue on what's on their agendas.
Most definitely.
So that's the downfall of the whole situation because of that. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that he had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad, but hey, you know, he's going through it. I guess he got control of it, and I guess he know what he's doing.
Let me ask a question before we get off here.
Okay.
At what point when you start making a certain amount of money
Mm-hmm.
and you start seeing your star rise,
Right.
that you say to yourself, you know what? I got to start cleaning this up. I got to start doing, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
women may be coming at you. They may be throwing panties on stage, all that. And whether you say to yourself, I can't, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't do that because this may happen.
Right.
I can't do that because this may happen. You just, I don't get to why when we become celebrities or when celebrities become celebrities that they don't realize that it's going to be people after you.
Facts.
Regardless, I mean, you may,
Facts.
you know, this girl or this man may be thinking, okay, yeah, great, whatever, but their ultimate goal sometimes is to get you.
To get
your money.
Yeah, exactly.
And why we don't think more like that? Why we why we get so, it seems like we get more trusting when we get more money.
Right. Like I said, man, the things people do for money, man, you'll be surprised. I swear to God, the things people do for money, you'll be surprised. And then some people, like I said, they just ain't used to a certain lifestyle. They just ain't used to certain things. So they're going to go until they can't go no more.
Yeah, if that's the case, then I'm going to stay broke.
Look.
Keep my morals in place.
There you go. Because I told you, like, the things these people do, man, some of the stories I hear, I'm just like, nah, I can't even see myself doing.
People, so I'm quite sure you heard a lot of stories.
Yes, man, yes. Oh my God, yes. I'd be shaking my head like, he really did that?
Right.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And the Shedeur Sanders situation, like,
oh, has he been picked yet?
Yeah, Cleveland got him.
What round was it?
I want to say it was the third round. I want to say it was 144th draft pick. Yep. 144 draft pick.
Why you doing so dirty?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The same thing we just talked about, but in this case right here, the level of arrogance and cockiness. Now we all know Primetime has always been that type of person,
right?
But he can back it up, and the fact that he was a great player playing football, and the fact that
and baseball,
and the fact that he won some Super Bowl and he got a Hall of Fame jacket and all that's cool. But in this day of time, you know, with football and how things are today, and how the young folks is today, just the entitlement of these young folks. What people don't realize is that entitlement is going to hinder these young folks, and the fact that you know, they had to teach Shador a lesson. Like, okay,
Oh, okay.
your daddy might be such and such,
Mhm.
and your daddy might have this net worth and might have his money and everything, and you just because you his son and you got your own little money, but just know that we
Right.
still run the show.
Mm.
We still run the show.
So, do you think, in your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
do you think it was necessary?
Yeah.
To humble them a little bit.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
Mm.
just to let them know, like, we could turn the lights off and on anytime we want to.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
I'm not a sports person,
Right.
so I don't follow sports like that when it comes to draft and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. So I didn't know where he was. I just kept saying people saying this is a shame, and
Right.
all this other stuff. So I did look into it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm thinking to myself, it's got to be a reason, and we can't say it was a black thing because
Right.
most of the whole top field was black. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So
Exactly.
they all went when they were supposed to go.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking to myself, well, what's the thing?
Humble.
What's going on? Is it something he said?
You got to humble them. You got to humble them, man. Like I said, these kids getting out of hand to where they just feel so entitled, and then this NIL deal with these college kids really just killed the game of college football.
So they already got millions when they come into football.
Yes, man. It already killed the game of college football already.
Mm.
And the fact that, these kids getting paid and now they just feel like, oh, okay, I can make decisions now because I got this money.
They driving
bro.
up to the draft in Bentleys.
Look, if they ain't in Bentley, they in Scats. Rest in peace to the player that died from LSU.
Mm.
That the player that died from LSU was supposed to have been in the draft recently.
Oh, really?
I think a lad named Lyons. And he they say he killed himself up in Houston.
Oh, wow.
What happened was he had got into an accident back in Louisiana and killed a 78-year-old man.
Oh, wow.
And they was going to get ready and go to trial.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that he was in the state of Louisiana
Mm-hmm.
and him being a black guy killing an older white man, they was going to give it to him.
Yeah.
So the fact that I think the pressure amongst that, and then I think some things that happened when he was in Houston caused his demise.
Wow.
Yeah. And what the young folk don't realize, like, money doesn't, look, you can have all the money in the world. Guess what? That don't mean shit.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, and I hate to say this, but I'm just going to say it, end of the day, you still a nigga.
That's true.
Regardless. Regardless of your status, regardless how much money you make, regardless of who you know, you still a nigga.
Most definitely.
And they're going to treat you just like a nigga when you do something wrong. And see, with Shador, the fact that he grew up, and he never got in trouble, I respect Deion for that, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you got to humble yourself. You have to humble yourself for real. You have to. So, you know what I'm saying? Once he learned that, being humble, everything will work out. He's going to do great things.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to do great things.
All right,
for real.
brother. It's
For
been
real.
good talking to you.
Man, I appreciate your laugh, man.
I'm so glad you back.
Yes.
I'm so glad we're going to have these conversations.
Oh,
more.
yeah, we're going to, yes. And my apologies, too, man, for the way we ended season 3 last year, man. It wasn't right.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying, we had to do what we had to do at the time. But like I said, bigger and better things are in store this year for season 4.
Mm-hmm.
I know plenty of people, so you'll be surprised who I might have in here. And we're gonna have some fun this year.
Yeah, we're finna make it happen.
We're finna really make it happen. Oh yeah, they're gonna be the breakthrough year. And I think the breakthrough, and it ain't just for me, it's for all of us. It's
like
for all
I
of
always
us.
tell people,
it's for all
we're
of us.
trying to grow with you.
We're trying to grow. Exactly.
Right.
We're trying to, so this gonna be I think this gonna be the breakthrough year for all of us.
That's most definitely.
Yeah, this is gonna be the breakthrough year. So I appreciate everybody out here tuning in. Like I said, this is just the beginning. We got plenty more in store. Y'all want to collab, you know what I'm saying, be a part of the show, man. Hit my DM and we can collab and make something happen. And that's that, man. We're just gonna keep going from here. One monkey don't stop no show. We're gonna keep it in motion, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, we got big and better things coming. So y'all just stay tuned. Continue to follow Misfits Media Group, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to DJ Lab, shouts out to Slick. Shouts out to everybody here, man. Y'all been holding me down since I came over here. Shouts out to Insane Wayne. Wish the best of luck on Insane Wayne and his new show, his new endeavors. And we're going to keep it pushing, man. We're going to definitely keep it pushing. It's your boy Los do the most. I'll be here every other Sunday around 1:30, you know what I'm saying? Same time. And, just stay tuned, man. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Oh, yeah, man, how you